Hello, everyone, and welcome to Football Moshla. I should say, welcome back to Football Moshla for one of our long format episodes. I'm Fardan Ahmed. I'm your host today. I'm with my co-host Qazi Adil. We're going to talk about what excites us most, but what also makes us sad more is Manchester United, specifically Ruben Amorim, of what he's doing, what his philosophy, what he said after the 3-0 thrashing he got at Etihad, and he did not look good. United looked bad. Did they look okay? Is there any ray of light? I personally don't think so. But Adil, let's get right to it. What
Yes.
happened at the derby? What happened after the game? What are your thoughts?
Well, basically, it's a game of philosophies, right? Game of
Game
systems
of
and
Phil.
game of philosophies and game of systems. After Louis Van Gaal, this is another guy who's like, this is my philosophy. I'm not going to change. If the club wants me to change my philosophy, they can change the man. In his own words, change the man means change the manager. Basically, they can change me. They can fire me. I think he got good advice from his wife that at least if they fire you, you're gonna get more compensation. At least get the compensation package. They will pay you off instead of you just resigning.
Yeah, he
And
could take a small vacation. Yeah, with his
yeah,
family.
he can retire at least. I think it's gonna be a 12 to 13 million pounds payoff. So
Not bad for a young manager at all.
no, you can invest that money and leave off of dividends. Well, that's something for another episode of Football Moshla. For managers like Jose Mourinho made $1 million by getting sacked all the time. So
Oh,
more
that's the
than no,
strategy.
sorry, it's more than million. I mean, I think it's more like there's 20, 50, 50 million or something like that. So it's a double digit number, not
We'll
just
brush up
single.
on the numbers for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how much Mourinho got. So yeah, Ruben Amorim is very strict. He's sticking to his philosophy, and his philosophy is 3-5-2, glorified 5-4-1, or let's just say 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3.
It cannot be a glorified four. There's always they always look like they're in trouble. They always look like they're panicking. They always look
Yes,
like a boat that's sinking, man. When the midfield press that Man City did.
yes.
You
Derby
want to say
demolition.
something?
Well, I mean, if Rodri can press you after coming back off an ACL injury, that says a lot about your midfield, right? They played Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte. Bruno is never effective in a center mid position. Everybody knows that, even he knows that. But he's still playing Bruno. This was his chance to play Bruno with Sesko and Mbumo since Cunha and Mount are injured. So he didn't. He could have played Kobe Mainu. That's another topic. He clearly doesn't fancy Kobe Mainu. He just literally said that before the game in his own words that Kobe Mainu doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the legs. I need more. So I'm like, then you're playing Bruno Fernandes. You think Bruno is faster than Kobe Mainu? Or you think Ugarte is faster than Kobe Mainu? Well, I mean, they're all in the same boat, same speed length. Maybe Kobe is more agile, to be honest with you, and he's
But
young.
whenever he drops a line, he doesn't really back it up with anything. No data, not what I think. I think he's faster. I think he's better. Nothing. He does. He just says the statement and that's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's getting a reputation of saying that, oh, the media is loving him because he's very honest and he's a very darling to the media. But I'm like, you're honest, but some of the stuff that you're saying is not making any sense, to be honest with you. Like, um, the Kobe Mainu part is very much baffling to me. And I have said it from very much the start that the 3-5-2 is not going to work. It doesn't matter if you bring in even Kylian Mbappe or Vinny Jr. or Luka Modric, who are the center mids. Tony Cruz, it's not going
Bellingham.
to work. Bellingham, right? The big midfielders or the world class midfielders, even Pedri, um, if I may say. So even if you have a Leo Messi, this 3-5-2 formation is not going to work. Only person who's making it work in the Premier League is Glasner, and he's very strict and he doesn't rotate the team at all.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons he didn't let Mark Gay leave. He wants that Lacroix, Gahey, and Richards in
Combination.
the back three. Yeah, combination, right? Um,
It's a solid combination. It's been
yes,
working
but
since last season. They beat Man City in the FA Cup final. They're on their way to Europe, which is in a few weeks. We have so much to talk about. But Glasner is really proving a point here that is very much possible, not with the philosophy, with the correct pieces in the right places. Now, when you spoke
true.
of Menu,
Yes,
Ugarte, that's a
yes,
piece in the midfield.
yes.
Ugarte, no matter how many memes, I was very much a fan of Ugarte, pretty much. Like, I was like, oh no, South American blood, him and Casemiro, let's go, vamonos, vamos. But the Premier League tempo is different, as we constantly talked about in the past. And Mainu has it. He may not have the he may not have he may not be a Rodri, but he has shown time and time again he has come in clutch for the club a lot of times.
Yes, and also Pep, I think, did countered this. To be honest with you, countered this formation with his own 3-5-2 formation, right? 3-3-2-4-1 or 3-4-2-1 with
Three
his
four two
own,
one,
but
yes.
3-4-2-1. But Pep is but he changes it during the game also. Sometimes it becomes a back four.
Yeah, it does,
Sometimes it
yeah.
becomes a back three. So Pep is constantly changing, and nobody, and I mean nobody can actually uh, predict the personnel, the starting 11 that Pep gonna put out. They might
Mm-hmm.
know how he play, but to be honest with you, here's the thing: Pep is also changing, and he's adapting with some players. Right? He brought in Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku was not supposed to start. That was not expected to start. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Doku because he saw, okay, Mazraoui playing as a right wing back. He just came back from injury, and Mazraoui is not that fast. I know a lot of Manchester United fans love him. I like his work rate, but he is just coming off from an injury, and he's not fast to keep up with Jeremy Doku. And then you have Luke Shaw. Jeremy Doku for the first goal. Jeremy Doku just gave Luke Shaw the
Finger. He showed him the
and
finger.
here's my problem. Luke Shaw, with all due respect, I've been saying it for a long time. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire should never play these big matches,
Mm.
right? You have Eleni Euro, you have Aiden Heaven. You wanna combat this Manchester City team with pace. Bring in pace. Combat it with pace.
Pace
If
fights
Aiden
pace.
Heaven is there, Aiden Heaven, even if he cannot tackle or he cannot do anything, he can stick with the runner, and that's the main thing. That's in a grassroots level when we play here. Also, we there's a say in the game is like stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. Just run with him. Even though, like, if you can keep running with that person, eventually that person will have second like thoughts about who should I pass because I'm not seeing the opening. And that's Aiden Heaven could have done. That's Lenny Yoro could have done. Mazarawi, delete. Well, delete is an option because we don't have a center back,
Mm-hmm. He's a
center back.
solid center back.
Mm, yeah, but Mazarawi and Dorgu's Dorgu is good, but man, Dorgu cannot put in crosses. Um, he wastes a lot of decision making. He's not a good decision maker yet. But I'm not sure how to fix this. And okay, with I'm just gonna say that this is the end of Ruben Amorim. This is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's safe
Um,
to say that it's not the players anymore. It's time to target your cannons towards the manager because clearly the pieces are not in the right places. You started with Menu. Dorgu will be excellent as a proper left back in a back four.
yeah, fullback
Mazraoui will also be excellent as a
as a
right back in a
fullback.
back four. Not
Yeah.
even Dallo to some extent would be great because you'll
No,
have enough
Dallo
coverage.
should be a right winger. He cannot defend. So Dallo, either
Dallo could be
ship him
right
out.
winger. Yeah,
Yeah,
my bad on that. But
yeah,
all the players are there, and his philosophy may be there, but his psychology is not there. Okay, because he is not putting the right players according to their, like you said, tenacity, the temperament, the footballing IQ that's needed, which adapts and changes according to which opponent you're facing in the Premier League. And in this case, Aiden Heaven, he has proved himself to be a solid center
A
back,
runner, at least. At least a runner. A center back, yes, but a runner. He can run.
a runner. So
Yeah.
so with Jeremy Doku, you need someone who can, like you said, stay with him. Even if when we play our Queen's football, we yell, "Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him." Right? Aiden Heaven has proved himself because for speed you need speed, pace you need pace. So Jeremy Doku, we all know he's gonna dribble, he's gonna do the step over, he's gonna cut out and try to do what he does best. But if Luke Shaw is there, who has torn his ACL in the past, right? And he's back after.
He broke his leg, fibula.
Sorry,
I
he
think
broke his leg. My bad.
leg
So he
in two
broke his
parts,
leg
in
and he
two
came
places.
back.
Yeah.
He's not the Luke Shaw, obviously, from 2022,
18, 18, 19.
2018.
Yeah.
18 Luke Shaw was awesome, but come on, it's 2025. So obviously he is whatever Ruben is smoking, he has to get rid of it for to put the right people in the right places. And I'm repeating myself because I'm very frustrated with what he's doing. I, along with millions and millions of Man U fans on social media, are going berserk on this guy, especially after what he said at the press conference. Can you enlighten us, Adil, of what he said at the press conference?
Well, he basically said that he's not gonna change his philosophy. He's gonna stick with this, and he thinks this is not a problem with the players or the philosophy. It's a mentality problem of the players. And he said that if you want to change the manager, change the man. That's exactly what he said. Uh, in other words, just change the manager, and get somebody else. But and now here's things get a little difficult and deeper, right? A lot of Manchester United fans are saying we don't. If we sack or fire Ruben Amorim, we're back to square one. And my thing is this, that um, this strategy didn't work, right? You're running a company. Let's say Ineos is running Manchester United, even though they're minority shareholders. But you're running a company. If this thing is not working, you switch strategies and go for another one. I mean, I know that if you fire him, well, good thing is that bring in somebody who's going to get best out of these players, because they didn't sign a midfielder. Let's say they didn't sign a Baleba, and look what happened to Baleba. He's not performing because that got to his head. He's distracted. But I don't even think if they signed Baleba, that would have made any difference, because the system is very different, right? And it's not a system where two of your center mids are exposed. Paul Scholes and Roy Keane in their prime would have struggled in this system. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos would have struggled in this system. Casemiro in his prime with Real Madrid, alongside Toni Kroos, would have struggled in this system. Xavi and Iniesta would have struggled in the system. Basically, you're overpowered, outnumbered by 2 versus 3 players of the opposition, right? You're two center mids, and they have 3 midfielders coming at you, alongside the forward runners like the striker or number 10. So it's 3 versus 2 in center mid, and that's where you're losing the battles. So I think if Manchester United decides, and I think this is the start, because a lot of leaks are coming out that Bruno Fernandes is not happy playing as a center mid. A lot of players are unhappy with the 3-4-3 system. So these things started, and he also mentioned that you don't have any idea what I've been through, something along those lines, in this transfer window. But what we can see from our side, we will never know the inside story, right? But what we see is that they spent quite a lot of money, close to £300 million on attacking forces, and a goalkeeper that he clearly doesn't fancy. They had Donnarumma available. They didn't go for Donnarumma. They didn't go for Martinez. I understand the Martinez part because he's 33, but Martinez would have been like could have given us 2 years, like Van der Sar did, right?
Easily,
2-3 years.
easily.
Martinez is 33. He probably would have given us 2 years. That 2 years could have guaranteed Champions League football, the cash flow coming in. They didn't get Gyökeres. Probably he doesn't fancy Sesko. That's what this looks like. Sesko was not his first choice. Probably Watkins was, but look at Watkins also. So it's uh it's a mess at Manchester United. I think there's something about the environment because the players go leaving Manchester United. Højlund scoring in
In his
Naples
debut at Napoli
in his
alongside
debut at
Kevin De
Napoli.
Bruyne.
But to be fair, Italian Serie A is very slower, right? I saw that game. I
Højlund looked
saw the pass.
fast. Højlund
Højlund
looked
fast.
so fast. I looked at
He's
the
playing with
highlight.
slower players.
Højlund looked like a beast. De Bruyne too. Scott McTominay. Oh my goodness, these guys with the. I mean, one thing. A couple of seasons the Premier League makes you a beast in the Serie A.
So that's why I think that's not going to be a fair comparison, because it would have been a fair comparison if Højlund did good at a Premier League club, right? So yeah, Manchester United will have to, like I mentioned before, we'll have to look for alternatives, new managers, because Ruben Amorim is coming to an end. Because I don't think they're gonna win against Chelsea next time. So the clear test will come against Brentford away and Sunderland at home. So next game is Chelsea at home, which I think Palmer will kill Manchester United.
Palmer Fest.
There's going to be a Palmer Fest. But with Pedro,
if there can be a wood factor, why can't we have a Palmer Fest?
there's going to be a Palmer Fest. That's at Old Trafford with the João Pedro scoring, because João Pedro scored a lot of goals against Manchester United when he was playing for Brighton. Not a lot, but all the time I see João Pedro scoring, right? So he loves to score. So fantasy Premier League managers get João Pedro and Captain João Pedro and Palmer. Vice Captain.
It's gonna
Palmer,
be
whatever.
awesome. Like how easy it is to be a Man U fan and be like, oh yeah, I'm playing FPL in my mini league. I just want to target Manchester United. Forget about Burnley and Leeds. I'm just gonna target Man U.
Target Man U. Play your free hit. Chelsea players all along. I mean,
go for it, bro.
Go for it, right? So, so they're gonna lose to Chelsea. Now, then they're gonna be going to Brentford away. That's not gonna be easy. Brentford with this formation, with Otara Dango, and then they have Shade. That guy has speed. I don't know how Manchester United defense will cope with that.
It's not a bad strategy. Every week, you're naming the players I want to transfer in every week.
Learn it from me. I'm the FPL expert so far. Until I fall off.
You're having a great season, actually.
No. I always start good and then I fall off because I start getting the -4 jitters. Like, let me get this, let me get that.
Jitters.
But so far, so good. No wood factor, no Mateta factor, no Palmer Fest. So this is good. But once these starts clicking, I'll be out. So again, Sunderland, maybe it's gonna be a home game, probably maybe a smash and grab win. But my thing is this: this is gonna be another drawn out season. The season is almost over. I hate to say it. There's no excitement. I literally said to my family on Sunday that I'm gonna be watching the derby 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Nobody bothers me. I'll be watching it. That's my 2 hours of work that I have to do. I paraphrased it as work because I have to analyze the game and whatever. We do a podcast for free. So after watching the game, I had this feeling like we did a short about it.
Liverpool, Arsenal.
Give me back my 2 hours. Give me back my 2 hours. I could have done a lot of stuff. I could have gone and played with the kids. My wife would have been a lot happier. So it's becoming very difficult to be a Manchester United fan, to stay a Manchester United fan, and it's like we know we're gonna finish maybe 15, 16, 17, or maybe in a relegation fight this season if Ruben Amorim stays longer.
Continues, yeah. If he continues. For sure.
If they make a change, let's say they make a change in the next international break, that's around October, after the Liverpool game maybe, or before, I'm not sure. Then whoever comes in, there's going to be an adjustment period. Again, it's going to be a scrap for Europa or whatever, or conference, or maybe number 10 position. Who knows who comes in? So then it's a never-ending cycle. But they need a manager that can come in and get the results out of this player. And I think only one or two comes into mind, right? And we can talk about this. We're going to transition into who should replace Ruben Amorim if he is fired
Possible
or sacked.
replacements that are Premier League proven.
Yes.
Okay.
And Adoni Iraola of Bournemouth and Oliver Glasner of Crystal Palace. Now, we can start with Glasner. I know you have your reservations about Glasner.
I do.
Let's hear it for that. What is it?
Glasner, excellent manager. We already talked about how good he did last season with Crystal Palace. He stuck to the same unit, except that, obviously Eze has left. But look, they're not struggling. They're bringing the game to every team. I know they didn't play well against Sunderland, but I think most of the workload has fallen on the shoulders of Sarr at the moment. And Sarr always had a little bit of a link up with Eze in the midfield. So I think Sarr is still threatening in Crystal Palace. So if Glasner comes to Man U, we're again back to a back three. And the players, I still feel, like I said at the beginning of the episode, none of the players like the the 3-man defense, the
Mhm.
back three. All of
Yes.
them, if I'm not wrong, each and every player has played a back four system in their careers.
Yes.
So Glasner, excellent manager. Yeah, will I smile? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's bring in Glasner. But he's gonna come into a brand new team and he has to analyze the players and analyze, oh, okay, Luke Shaw this. Okay, delete is that. Okay, Lenny Euro. Oh, Mazraoui just came off an injury. So that oh no kind of phase will be another, like it's like a train that's going farther and farther away from the destination. The destination has passed. But now if you want to bring the right path back to the destination, just to understand the path, it'll take them more stops along the way. And that's what's been happening with all the managers that have come in. So that's why Glasner, I'll smile. I'll again be like, another back three? I don't think so.
That's a valid point. Glasner is very strict with this formation as well, so that might be a sticking point. The style of play, in this formation, you're not going to get a lot of goals. It's going to be 1 or 2 goals, and you're not going to concede. That's how Glasner's teams. That's why Matata, they're not scoring a lot without Sarr or Eze, right? So I don't think Glasner is going to be a good one for Manchester United unless he changes the formation. Adoni Iraola of Bournemouth. He used to be a player from Atletico Bilbao. He learned his trade, I think, under Marcelo Bielsa. So the education level is high on a tactical standpoint. He's trying to get best. He's getting the best out of Semenyo, Evanilson, Tavernier, even Brooks to an extent. And also you're going to see Kluivert is a very technically gifted player, but he doesn't fancy Kluivert that much. So Kluivert is in the bench. He sold 2 of his center defenders, Zabarni and Husen, that went to Real Madrid. And he replaced it with Diakite, who slotted in nicely. He just didn't play the last game. Bafoda Diakite because he was injured. But then there's a Senesi, who also is a center back, right? So Senesi was, I think, part of Bournemouth, and now he's getting the best out of Senesi. And then he sold Carquez and brought in Truffert, right? And then they slotted in nicely. So I know it's a small club compared to Manchester United, but he's getting the best out of the players that are bringing it, and he's not tickling with the formation that much. It's a 4-2-3-1. Basically,
He
that's it.
just knows, again, the same thing. I hate to repeat myself. He knows which piece to put where.
Exactly. So he's not playing Semenyo as a striker. He's playing Semenyo on the left wing or the right wing. That's where Semenyo is more effective. Semenyo is not playing as a number 10. Not yet. So, again, Evanilson is not playing as a left winger or a number 10. He's a striker. He's going to play as a striker.
Yeah.
So that's what it's. I think Iraola is one of the options that can benefit Manchester United. Can benefit. He's not going to be too much talkative with the media. He's going to avoid the controversies and all the stuff. He's going to be like, all right, this is what I have. I'm just going to get on with it. And Manchester United not signing a midfielder also can be assigned to Ruben Amorim. It's like, hey, listen, we're not gonna just go for a midfielder because we're not completely buying into your system.
Uh-huh.
Whatever
Yeah.
midfielder we have, make it work. So I think Kobe Menu, even Ugarte will shine under um, Iraola. So
Yeah. Also, I believe in
that's only
Areola because outside of Athletic Club, he also played for our city, New York City FC.
what he did. Look at Fardan collecting the data, pulling up the data. He's our live and exclusive FOT mob specialist. Like he's a FOT mob. He's a Fardan mob. You know, we should not be saying FOT
Farm
mob.
mob, farm mob.
He's a FAR mob. He's our farm mob. Right, they're bringing up the data. So that's see, we got a lot. We gave you guys a lot of data with this Lamens video.
Yeah, we did.
And you
We
guys
did.
didn't even watch it
We
because
gave so
Laman didn't
data
play. So
so that you know who's sitting on the bench.
yeah, we gave you a lot of data. So Lamens goes to the bench now. So now, any other candidates that comes to mind for that? We look very happy compared to other Manchester United fans that our team is suffering and we're laughing our
No,
butts
this
off
is
here.
because we cried
But
and broke stuff the whole weekend. Today's Monday. We're recording on a Monday, the day after the game. And we did all the banters, all not banters. We did all the first we all this what do you call that when you try to de-stress by talking to your or the venting you do by talking to your friends and family over and over again or firing up FIFA on easy mode, playing with Man City, and you score like 400 times, just to be on the safe side. Whatever. But after that, now we
did you
have
see
to smile because
these? No, I smiled because there was a joke going around that in the new EAFC 26, there's going to be a new difficulty mode added, Manchester United before
yes,
beginner level.
yeah, that's
So it's
easier than
Manchester United
beginner level.
beginner. That's easier than beginner. Yeah. So that's very, it's very trying times as a Manchester United fan. I mean, so now there's nostalgia, right? So there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, bring Ole back, bring Mourinho back. Mourinho is available. He's 63 years old. He's available." To that, what do you say, Farda? Because I'm going to give my opinion on that, but I
I
want your
know you
opinion
don't want
before that.
him, but I'm a OG Mourinho fanboy for years upon years. I think that even though he's like 60 plus, this guy is he's something, man. I just if he's back, no problem. I would be happy.
No, I'm not. I mean, he didn't. He's past his best. He couldn't make it work at Fenerbahce. So Mourinho, only way I can bring Mourinho back is that in one season, and I mean one season. I don't care how you play. If you win 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and then smash and grab and get us the title, let's say 26 to 27, and in that 1 year, he's like, okay, this is gonna be my last year before everything falls apart,
The
but
last
I will
dance.
win the title, the last dance, and I'm gonna say I will be like, look at you, I got you guys the title. Yes, that's the only way I'm gonna accept Mourinho.
He's gonna
But
walk
I
into
will
the
not.
sunset.
I don't think that. Yeah, it's gonna be a very short. It's maybe a 1 year contract. I'll be like, hey, listen, if I hire him, I'll be like 1 year contract. Do whatever the hell you want to do, but you give me the 21st title. If I was the owner, I'll be like, you can beat up any player you want. You can beat up the media people you want. You can beat up the staff you want.
License to
But
beat.
you can license to beat, but give me the title. You can poke somebody in the eye in a legal way and not get caught. Whatever you did at Real Madrid and Chelsea, just give me the title. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Not happening. Ole is not gonna come back. I don't think he should come back. The second homecoming is never it never ends well. Just ask Cristiano Ronaldo. And yeah, you have your beef with Ten Hag for that, but also Cristiano Ronaldo was past his best. Oops. Did I ruffle a lot of feathers now on this? Yes, I did. There goes our subscribers. There goes our subscribers. But who else can come? There's been talk about Zinedine Zidane. I'm gonna tell you, like Fabrizio has been telling you guys, Zidane is waiting for the France international team after the World Cup. So he's gonna take over from Didier Deschamps, and he's gonna be the France manager, France
He
coach.
has been
So
livid
he's
because
going
he wanted the
international.
job. He wanted the job for this World Cup.
He probably did, but that's not happening. Maybe Deschamps might win the World Cup with France with all the talent. Who knows? France versus Spain final, but that's not the topic. So Zidane is not coming. There's one guy that might come. There's one guy, and I will think that that's also going to be
You
along the
said
lines of
will come
Mourinho.
as if you're very confident.
Yes, yes, that because he just won. The motivation is there because he won that with that team, and he can just be like, "All right, I'm done. I gave you guys another title." Antonio Conte.
Oh,
Antonio Conte back in the Premier League with Manchester United.
oh my goodness, that's
What do
gonna
you
be
say for that?
something. I don't like him, but he's better than Amorim, I guess.
Well, again, I don't like him either. But if he brings the title in 1 or 2 years, that's it. Get him, short term fix, fire him. That's it. Long
Fire him.
term things not working. Life is not long
Get the
term.
title, fire him. What a method.
Yeah, with Mourinho and Conte, that's the only strategy you can go. Because it's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna get another Ferguson who's gonna stay here for another 20 years. Not happening. Life is short. If you get 2-3 years out of it and get a title, win some trophies, that's it. Good luck. Then go. So these are my picks. These are, I think, this is what, unless there's somebody else
Fantasy
who's
manager picks.
nobody has been linked. These are manager. Manchester United. Oh, Manchester United. How far the once upon a time mighty has fallen.
Where art thou?
Yes. So at 15th position, they're 14th now. Thou
Yay.
art our 14th.
Where art thou?
All right. So I guess I don't have anything else to say about this topic. Before
Your
wrapping up,
energy level has
only
dipped.
one thing. No, it's not dipping because I gotta talk about Manchester City right now
Shoot.
and Pep Guardiola. So the end of the video is near, so please do not turn off. We gotta wrap it up pretty soon. But this is the last topic I want to say. Amorim is sticking with his philosophy. Pep Guardiola is adjusting to a new philosophy, right? Philosophy, right? The reason is this. He brought in Donnarumma, who's not a Pep Guardiola type player. He brought Donnarumma purely for his shot stopping, not for playing out from the back. I think Pep is done playing out from the back. He's going to be like, all right, Donnarumma is there. Get him. I need him to save the shots, like David De Gea was doing it for Manchester United. And then he has players like Dorgu, not a typical Pep Guardiola style player, probably not going to play 37 games or 37 games in the Premier League. Doku. No, I said Dorgu, right? Jeremy Doku. The Daku.
The Daku.
The Daku. But he's very effective in
the
the
Belgian
team,
Daku.
in playing against Manchester United. The Belgian Daku. So then Doku is playing like he plays. So that's he's not playing like a Pep Guardiola type of player. And then there is a Kusanov, not a typical Pep Guardiola type of player.
Not
a
at all.
very
Yeah.
fast and direct player, right? And also Arteta is changing the way he plays, direct with Eze and Gyökeres. So like a lot of people say, good managers adapt. It's survival of the fittest. If you cannot survive and you're not fit enough to survive, then yes, we should change the manager, change the man Fardan. We'll leave you guys at that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel because we're not going to just talk about Manchester United or Amorim. There's a lot of other content that's coming our way. And I'll see you guys in the next one alongside Fardan. Take care.